What's up, solutionaries? We are Thursday, Maj Toure show. We got 2 more days, y'all. Come on in, y'all know the routine. Tap in, hit the like button, tell me where you from, comment. We engage over here at the Maj Toure show. Let me know where you from, what platform you watching on. Let me know. We got an interesting conversation tonight. We're going to talk about some gun stuff, some Second Amendment stuff. We talk a lot of the pop culture stuff, right? We talk a lot of politics. But today, we're going to tap into some of that. Come in, let me know, get in the comments section. Come on, y'all. Let's not be Hollywood. I see it's 80 y'all on here. It's kind of low. Guess I'm a little too early for everybody today. What's going on? Too early for everybody? I see 7, 8. This is interesting. Y'all know how we do. We don't get it started until we get some energy. And I need some energy. Josh Umba. I think I'm saying that right. From Dayton, Ohio. What's up, Dayton? I see that you're watching on YouTube, but I'm actually streaming today from 2 YouTube channels. The official Black Guns Matter page on YouTube and the Maj Toure page. So let me know which one y'all streaming from or watching from. What's up, Bookworm? Stone Sailor, what's up, brother? Where you from? Let's talk about it, y'all. We're going to get into this Thomas Massie, pro-gun, all of this other goodness. That's what we're going to chop it up today because, sometimes we talk about the political shit. We talk about the pop culture shit, and we tie it all into solutions every day. And that's cool. But the meat and potatoes of the game is the Second Amendment. Without the Second Amendment, you don't have a means to defend all of the other human rights. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this to y'all tonight. The Second Amendment is pretty much the one thing that is blocking the world, the rest of the world, from like globalization and world dominance. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Firearms is what does that. And the attack that has been happening on the Second Amendment is insane. And today we got some pushback. We're going to talk about it. This was presented before. We're going to read some of this article here from Fox. And we're also going to read up on, or we're going to play a video. We're going to pause and start it. It's about a 4 or 5 minute video of Thomas Massie giving some of the breakdown of his national concealed carry, reciprocity, concealed carry reciprocity, which is, I think, is a great way to start. I would prefer every state be constitutional carry, but I think that going back in the direction of, breaking some of these narratives, because some people will say like, oh, if everybody can carry, then you never know, the crime will go up. So if we start with national concealed carry, and then we see for 2 or 3 years that there's not much uptick in violent crime as they're lying as it is, or that is going to be, then each state can say, hey, we want to be constitutional carry. And we are right back to a free America after that. Big Rob, what's up? Into Q-tips. What's up? What's going on? Everybody, y'all know the routine. Hit the like button, smash it. We like tonight. What's going on, y'all? It's like 24 folks in here. We're going to chop it up. Make sure when y'all coming in, let me know where you're from. And let me know where you are actually streaming from, where you watching the show from. All right? Let's start it out. NRA legislative expert says gun rights could see the most monumental win in Congress since 2005. Congress advanced 2 bills this week aimed at expanding the rights of law-abiding gun owners. One of them, according to a legislative expert from the National Rifle Association, would mark the, quote, most monumental win for the Second Amendment rights in more than 20 years, if signed into law. H.R. 38, the Constitutional Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act, and H.R. 2184, the Firearm Due Process Protection Act, were debated and passed out of committee on Tuesday. My bad, y'all. This was the first step before the bills could be considered by the full House of Representatives and ultimately the Senate. H.R. 38, which seeks to implement nationwide reciprocity for concealed carry permits, would allow law-abiding gun owners with a permit in one state to carry in another state that also permits concealed carry, but may not have reciprocity. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Now, what does this mean, y'all? This is a step in the right direction for sure. Huge shouts to our friend, one of the most principled men in DC, Thomas Massie. Always a good time. I will forever be indebted to Thomas Massie. He showed up to a fundraiser of mine when I was running for a local office. He has been principled, and he has, you know, maintained those principles since the first time I ever heard him speak, and I'm honored to know him. There's not many politicians, not even just in DC, but in general, that maintain a certain level of constitutional principles, and he has and does. And so that that legislation is his. Okay, now what does that mean? The step in the right direction means, in essence, that America used to be every state was constitutional carry, meaning you have a constitutionally protected right, and as you know, the Bill of Rights, the Second Amendment, to carry your firearm wherever you go. This is not as complicated as people try to make it. They try to make it seem like, oh, we need extra, we need this, we need that, and that's all cap. Because they'll say, well, what if somebody does the wrong thing with the gun? Well, you charge that person. It's not complicated. Okay. And so this is again a pushback. I want to say maybe in around the 1990s when we started getting more uh, licenses to carry in states, because the Second Amendment has been under attack for way before 1990. But in the 90s, a lot of states started getting licenses to carry, concealed carry, so forth and so on. And since 1990, we've seen a push in the proper direction with some speed bumps here and there. Pun intended, bump stock. Trump's bump stock ban was going in the opposite direction. Now, we can argue the merits of that was him playing 3D chess because he knew it would go up to the Supreme Court and it would get overturned and da. We can have that. But I don't want a president to be asking for or advocating for any more restrictions on the right to keep and bear arms or accessories. Okay? So this is going in the proper direction because, again, I believe that the end goal and the end game should be for America to be constitutional carry all over again. It was at one point. Violence was extremely lower then. And again, why we're asking for the government for a constitutionally protected right is insane to me. It's insane. I would love to hear somebody's argument that says constitutionally protected rights should be asked, can we apply them by the government, when it's the exact opposite of the long-standing history of how that goes down. Guys, also, y'all know I'm trapped in the RV. We in the RV, we fundraising. We do two things we ask you guys to do. Every episode, we try to get 10 folks to give at the $20 level at the super chat, right? 5 episodes a week. That means $1,000 a week goes towards the work. That's $4,000 a month going towards our building, going towards classes, supplies, handouts, whatever. Okay? So please, if you're watching on YouTube, give a super chat level. And if you are a super chat giver, please name a small business, your own business, somebody that you know, your social media. Put something in that comment section that everybody else can see. And when it's saved, every time somebody watches it, they get exposed to your work. Okay. Also, guys, givesendgo.com/solutionaries, where I'm trying to get everybody to go. We now need 68 more donors at the $100 level, and we hit our next benchmark. It's going to be great. 68. All day today, I was saying Maj is doing 69 because we had 69 donors and it was a cheesy ass joke, and I couldn't wait to give that cheesy ass joke. But somebody gave, I think his name was, he named himself Black Power. Okay. He gave it the $100 level and left us a good donor comment. So guys, givesendgo.com/solutionary. I'm gonna say that a few times throughout the show. If y'all know, y'all know. Let's look at a couple of comments real quick. Media Maniac says, "What happening from people from Syracuse, New York? Evening, Professor Maj. I appreciate that, bro. I'm just a regular guy." Josh Umba says, "Massie the man." The Osman says, "Trump bump stock ban." It was, and we got it as people on right of center. We have to be honest about that. That bump stock ban was Trump's. It was his. Okay. And to Q-Tip says, I think that a lot of laws need to change as times go on. I agree. They need to be repealed. Big Rob says the rate these lower blue states judges been disrespecting the Second Amendment or the Supreme Court, excuse me, is crazy as far as brewing goes. Now, what he means by that is some of these leftist judges, the Bruin decision, which Black Guns Matter is cited in, we're in that decision. That decision was saying now there's a new way of evaluating Second Amendment cases. What that means is if you're presenting legislation or rule, it has to have long-standing tradition with the Second Amendment. If you cannot prove that your thing that you're saying needs to be restricted as far as firearms and whatever, you have to, if it can't show that long-standing history in alignment with the Second Amendment, it's not going to fly. That's the new standard by where Second Amendment and gun cases are brought. Lower level leftist judges will try to reinterpret that to mean something else, even though the Supreme Court decision, that Bruin decision, is very clear, and that's the supreme law interpretation of the Second Amendment here. They do that because they know that if you don't like it, you appeal. You either appeal or you vote those judges out. We need to do both. The person that is being denied by a lower court judge, one, needs to appeal, win it in the higher court, and two, they need to organize to vote those judges out. And maybe even the third step, I don't know if you can sue a judge. This is a new thought that I had. I don't know this answer. Y'all tell me in the comment section. Can we sue a judge that when clearly there's precedent set and they just go against it because they feel like it? Is there a way that we can sue judges that when there's clear precedent and they rule against it, can we sue them? I do not know that answer. I would assume we should, right? I would assume we could be able to, but I just don't know. I mean, specifically the judge for civil damages. I don't mean just shoot a state. I mean, I want to the actual judge. Can we do that? Okay. Uh, let's read a little bit more. Josh says, my coworker just today suggested I get my concealed carry permit here in Ohio, which is no longer necessary. Perhaps there's good info, but I don't want to be added to a government list. The reason why he probably told you to do that is because if you go to a different state that has reciprocity with Ohio, then you'll be cool. Now, here's the trick bag. I don't know how many people in here participate in cannabis in their life, but they also make it where if you have a license to carry, you cannot participate in purchasing firearms. So if you go to a FFL gun store, and if that person sees you open your wallet for your ID and they see that you have a cannabis card, they could and lawfully are supposed to deny you because cannabis is still scheduled federally schedule one, which means they associate on the federal level weed and like heroin. They like the same. They both schedule one. So there's a pro and a con to that. But he's probably telling you that because even though you don't need it in Ohio, because Ohio is constitutional carry, you can in essence say, hey, I got a license to carry. And if you do have the license, another state that may not be constitutional carry may have reciprocity with that. That's why people was doing the whole like get a Utah license, because Utah licenses to carry have reciprocity with so many other states. Make sense? Let's see another one. Jersey Heller says defund gun control and the Democratic Party. And to Q-Tip says, I think that a lot of the laws were written and designed to reflect the culture and values during those times. I do, but I think some of them are better. I think they like better. I think they're better. I think those rules were more in alignment with the freedom of the person and people being held accountable for the actual violation to property and actual crime. I think that is the way. I think we've gotten away from that. Big Rob says, after let me read this again. Before Bruin Jersey had something like 1,200 CCWs, and they tried to say people just weren't interested. After Bruin, thus to date, there's damn near 60K CCWs. Right. They lie. Right. Media Maniac says, I honestly think we should be able to sue the governor as well as the judge. I'm a fan of that because they call them activist judges. I don't really like that word because I think activism is a good thing. I'm an activist. I am active in my community, active in the Second Amendment community, active is good. So they use it in kind of with a negative connotation. I don't think that it should be a negative connotation. So, but what these so-called judges do is they just go, "I'm God in my little world. If you don't like it, appeal it, take it up to the higher court." But when you are a judge and you know that there's already precedent set, and you wasting time and resources just running cases up the pyramid, it doesn't make sense. So I would believe that it would be a reason to like sue those people. I do. Let's read a little bit more though. While more than half of the nation states have reciprocity laws, HR 38 would allow people with concealed carry permits in gun friendly states to carry concealed firearms in places like Los Angeles and Chicago, cities and states that do not have reciprocity laws but do allow concealed carry. That's a big win. That's a huge win. Okay. Under current law, if a lawful gun owner from Pennsylvania were to cross the Delaware River into New Jersey with a concealed weapon, they could face at least a 3-year mandatory prison sentence, according to Comerford. This actually happened. A buddy of mine, Shamika Allen, not Shamika Allen. I'm thinking about Shamika Michelle. Shanine Allen, excuse me. Shanine Allen she's from Philly. She drove across the bridge to Jersey, literally. She got pulled over. She forgot her had a firearm. She told the officer respectfully. She got arrested. I think Christie this was years ago. Christie was the governor and actually like worked to get her, and the NRA worked to get her pardoned because it was just a genuine, honest mistake. But that's the current situation. You are a safe and responsible firearms owner. Just crossing an imaginary line, now all of a sudden you the bad guy, and it's just not cool. It's not cool, guys. If you in the chat, let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. Let's communicate. New members to the chat. Let me know where you're from. Comment where you're from, what city you're from, what platform you're watching on. Ask questions in the chat, guys, so I can give y'all some answers too. We get some back and forth. Also, when you get some value from this tonight, as we wrap up in a little bit, not too long, not too short. However, when we wrap up, we're going to turn all of this into solutions. Okay, because that's what this conversation is always about on the Maj Toure Show. I talk to y'all about things and then we leave with an action item list of things that we can do to implement the things that we just discussed. Just talking about it, this ain't just a talk show. This is a solutionary show. You feel me? So, guys, come in, ask questions, engage, follow each other. If you're watching on YouTube, follow us on X at at Maj2Ray999. If you're watching on X, subscribe to the YouTube channels. Tonight we are streaming from the Black Guns Matter YouTube channel, youtube.com/Maj2Ray, and youtube.com/Black Guns Matter. Both of those YouTube channels, subscribe to both of them. Promote the show, share the space all over the place. All right. And then to read a little bit more. But while Second Amendment advocates like Comerford say they are hopeful about the potential for federal level reciprocity for concealed carry, others who support gun control fear it will add to the nation's ongoing violence crisis. Now that's the cap. That's the cap that they try to hit you with. Okay? I want to blow your mind real quick. Did y'all know that concealed carry, reciprocity, since 2004, if I'm not mistaken, since 2004, LEOSA has existed. Don't know what LEOSA is? LEOSA is the Law Enforcement Officer Safety Act. Since 2004, any currently employed law enforcement officers or retired law enforcement officers that follow the actual rules, okay, of each state, they can carry their firearm concealed, not in uniform, in plain clothes, like every American generally is, as long as they follow the rules of that state and they stay within the confines of, a good standing American citizen. So basically, national carry for law enforcement has existed since 2004, if I'm not mistaken. It's called LEOSA, the Law Enforcement Officer Safety Act. So on one hand, they'll say, if everybody can carry a gun and nobody knows who's who because you in concealed and you in plain clothes, the crime rate will go up. People will start shooting each other. That's the cap that they about to go into here. Is 1,000% cap. It's not real. Because if that was the case, nobody knows that these law enforcement officers are law enforcement officers. They carrying guns across the country, okay, since 2004. So talk about a protected class, which is unconstitutional, okay? Talk about a protected class. You got a so-called protected class of law enforcement officers saying they can carry their firearms and have national carry reciprocity, but the average American cannot. And then they'll scare the American because most people don't know about LEOSA. They'll scare the American populace and say, "Oh, this is the if you do this, it's gonna be so much shooting and violence." Bet you that's what they about to say. Let's read it. Quote: "This legislation is a dramatic infringement on states' rights and will be disastrous for gun crime and law enforcement safety in our country," says Emma Brown, executive director at the Gun Control Advocacy for Group Giffords, of course, right? Of course. Quote: "Violent crime rises when state concealed carry standards are weakened, and this would weaken the standard in every single state. It would also endanger police and make their jobs harder." That is a lie. It's not only a lie, it's also a damn lie. And on top of it being a damn lie, the data shows that that's not true. That's all they're going to say. They're going to scare you with the hypotheticals because they don't want you to know that law enforcement officers already carry concealed on a national carry tip. It's a lie. It's just not true. Okay? Don't fall for it. And when you run into people, y'all come here to get the talking points. Y'all come here to know how to engage the people when y'all go out into the world. When you run into the people that's going to repeat that thing like that, you give them the breakdown of 2004 and LEOSA, LEOSA, Law Enforcement Officers Safety Act. So if law enforcement officers can carry concealed nationally with reciprocity in every state, not their home state, not the state that they live, not the state that they do work in, they can carry concealed in plain clothes for their safety. It's the same reason for us. We carry in plain clothes nationally for our safety. Same exact thing. So I want y'all to, that's the talking point that I want y'all to make sure that y'all master. Master that talking point when you engage in the unconstitutional supporters of the racist practice of gun control. Make sure you hit them with that. Because that's all they could really lean on here. Okay? Osmond says, so basically police have reciprocity. Yes, 1000% since 2004. You apply for it just like a license, right? And they say, all right, cool, you passed that, and you stay within the confines of the law and you get to keep it. Okay? This is, I'm not making it up. I want y'all to Google it. Check it out. Somebody Google it real quick and throw it in the caption. Throw it in the comments. If y'all think I'm capping. Big Rob says, national constitutional carry should just be a thing because while you are disarmed, you should be standing next to a criminal with it on him. We already at an initial deficit being defensive minded. 100%. 100%. Somehow gun laws never apply to the police. Dre says, California has every law in the book, yet the California crime rate is through the roof. Ask me how I know. Here's the funny thing about that when they talk about that. California does. California and Massachusetts and New Jersey, horrible on the disrespect for the Second Amendment, right? But California leads the leagues in mass shootings. So how y'all got all of the rules and y'all got a California compliant gun roster? Certain guns you just can't have in California lawfully. But y'all still got the most mass shootings of any state in America. Make it make sense for me. Make it make sense for me. It's just not true. A fat Faison lie, Cat Williams, right? Let's read a little bit more. The second bill advanced this week on Capitol Hill was H.R. 2184. It aims to enhance the rights of people wanting to purchase a firearm who may be denied as the result of errors in the National Instant Criminal Background Checks System, NICS. Okay? If a buyer appeals a judgment denying their right to purchase a firearm on the grounds that there was an error, H.R. 2184 would require federal officials to make a determination on their appeal within 60 days. If an answer is not provided within a 2-month timeline, gun owners can then seek a court judgment to obtain one. That's great. If your name is John Smith, now, real quick, they're going to go into this next. When you have a very common last name, Smith, Jones, Johnson, whatever, right? If your name feels like somebody else's in the NICS system and that person's the bad guy, they'll stop your purchase. You didn't do nothing wrong, but they'll stop your purchase. Nope, you can't do it. So this is what they're talking about. If your name is John Smith and you fill out a Nix check on Black Friday at Cabela's to buy a firearm, you're going to be in for a wait, and sometimes you're going to be in for clerical errors that could restrict that purchase. With a pro-gun House, a pro-gun Senate, and a pro-gun president in the White House, now is the time to put foot on the gas and try to restore Second Amendment rights of America's gun owners. 100%. Now let me say something, because he said pro-gun House, Senate, and executive branch. Trump in the last few weeks to the last month, like yesterday, the motherfucker like supported Lindsey Graham, like gave Lindsey Graham a glaring endorsement. Y'all think I'm lying? I know y'all think I'm lying, but I'm not lying. Let me read y'all what your man Trump said about Lindsey Graham yesterday. Let me find this joint, because I don't ever want to give y'all the wrong impression. I don't ever want to say y'all to be like, oh, that's not what he said. I want to pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up for y'all right now. Here we go. Let's read it. Give me 1 second, y'all. If while we waiting, let's get the likes up, guys. Let's everybody. I don't care if you already did it. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. If you're watching on X, repost, so forth and so on. Let me read to y'all what your man Trump said. And I rock with Trump on a lot of things, but not this. Not lying to you. This is on Truth Social Post. Okay. Senator Lindsey Graham is working incredibly hard for the great people of South Carolina, a state I love and won big in 2016, 2020, and 2024. Lindsey has been a wonderful friend to me and has always been there when I needed him. As chair of the Senate Budget Committee, Lindsey is fighting tirelessly to grow the economy, lower taxes, and eliminate government waste. Lindsey is also relentlessly focused on helping to secure the border, stop migrant crime, strongly support our great military vets, promote American energy dominance, defend our always under siege Second Amendment, and ensure peace through strength. Senator Lindsey Graham has my complete and total endorsement for re-election. He will not let you down. Everyone in South Carolina should help Lindsey have a big win next year. This is Donald Trump talking about Lindsey Graham. Now, let me read you what Trump said April the 8th of 2024, a year ago, a little under a year ago. I blame myself for Lindsey Graham because the only reason he won in the great state of South Carolina is because I endorsed him. So he endorses him again. Lindsey Graham. What has Lindsey Graham said about Donald Trump? Like, go on the X page. It's up there, y'all. Okay. My point in saying this is he's not the most pro-gun Second Amendment and Second Amendment person. He's not. So this is why the work that we do at Black Guns Matter, the Solutionary Center, these grassroots folks, Firearms Policy Coalition, Gun Owners of America, this is the reason why we got to get behind all of these folks and support the work. This is why I be bugging y'all so we can buy the building. Fundraise, guys, help out. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. There's 200 people watching tonight, right? Let me blow your mind real quick. With 200 people watching, we need 68 donors at the $100 level, and we get our next benchmark. 68, say 70, times 2 is 140. So if a third of you, pretty much a third of you donated $100, we will be done. We will be done. But this is what I mean by what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that we really get how the Second Amendment is really under attack, because when you have organizations like ours doing the grassroots work, we are in the Bruin decision because of the work that we did. That's not me making that up. We in there. We have to keep our foot on the neck of these people and not relax just because we got a Republican president in. This is the same president that just endorsed. I just read y'all this glaring promotion of Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham has like video of him saying Trump ain't conservative. It's on my X page, Maj2Ray999. But also, this is the same Donald Trump that is talking about primarying Thomas Massie, who actually wrote this Second Amendment national carry reciprocity bill. So it's his bill. So you would want to primary Thomas Massie, okay? But at the same time, you want to dick rod Lindsey Graham. That's not the most productive, conservative, principle, constitutional perspective to take. It's not. Tell me where I'm wrong in the chat. Tell me. Tell me where I'm wrong. Please. Somebody tell me. TD Media Group says, hey Maj, lawmakers in California recently tried to pass a law making it nearly illegal to defend yourself at home against intruders. What's the logic behind that? They want you to be a well-fed, comfortable slave. They don't want you to have the means to defend yourself. There's a statement that says, as California goes, so goes America. Because California is such a big economy. I think it's like the sixth or seventh largest economy in the world, the state of California. I might be wrong on the number. It might be fifth now, right? But it's like fifth through eighth or something like that. There's more people there. We don't want you to be armed. We the government. We tricked you. We don't want y'all reading the Constitution. That's the answer. That's the reason why. You feel what I'm saying? Let's read a couple of more, then we get back to the argument. Let me see. Jersey Heller said, in New Jersey, people used to own 15 rounds, but it was reduced to 10, which makes no sense, and no stand your ground laws, which protects people from being prosecuted for defending themselves or others. You got to vote with your dollar, get politically active, or vote with your feet and get the fuck out of these states. And I'm not a fan of running. I'm not a fan of running. So get politically active. Yet again, this is the reason why I'm telling y'all, get a civics class. We have a civics class. Every donor, we need 68 more donors at the $100 level. I do not want y'all to just go buy a Solutionary Premium membership at Solutionary University. No, I want you to donate to givesendgo.com/solutionary. If you was going to get one of those memberships anyway, donate $400, $99, whatever. Get the membership still. I'm going to email you the membership. Get the membership and still help out. It's a 2-for-1. This is the reason why I'm saying this is so important. Okay? Us being informed and getting involved in a holistic level, of course, is guns. But when you get donated the $100 level and get the membership, you get access to a civics class and that curriculum. This is all important. They want you unhealthy, they want you uninformed, and they want you incapable of defending yourself. Why do you think we got a civics class, health and fitness, meal plans, workout routines, shooting drills, understanding imminent threat class? Because we have to create whole humans and whole Americans again. That's what we have to do. That's what the Solutionary Now is for. That's why I keep badgering you all about this, right? It's important. It's a thing again. Trump, this is why he did this bill or this anti. I don't know what you mean, Kawan. Retype that. Into Q-Tip says, Maj, as long as the correct education is given with the open carry, then we shouldn't have anything to worry about. I don't know, bro. In my mind, freedom is always to be protected and be vigilantly defended. So I'm always concerned, or at least watching, for lack of a better term. Okay, but if to your point, I think you're saying as long as people are taking information and taking classes, being informed, then we don't have anything to worry about. And I agree with you. The anti-gunners are going to try to package it as if you give these Americans freedom and the actual Second Amendment, it's going to be danger. They try to scare you into compliance. Okay? Big Rob says your average gun guy is more trained as far as shooting than the majority of police. I agree. I agree. It is what it is. Media Maniac says it's because Massie isn't kissing his ass. I agree. Listen, y'all. These are directions that are great, but we have to be honest about where we're at and what we're up against. Again, in this article, they just said we got a pro-gun House, pro-gun Senate, pro-gun president. But the person that wrote the bill, Thomas Massie, 2 weeks ago, the president said he wanted to primary Thomas Massie. You understand? Thomas Massie is the same one years ago that Trump said, I want to primary him. Da 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 da. Thomas Massie has a responsibility to his constituents in the state of Kentucky, not Donald Trump. We have a responsibility to our constituents, our family, our loved ones, and the nation of America, the states that we live in. Not anti-gunners, not unconstitutional people that don't understand civics. Okay? And that also means if Trump get goofy on certain things, it's our job to call that out. Our attachment is to limited government and the human rights codified in the Bill of Rights, and that Constitution being a limit on government power. This is our job. That's our position. Okay, let's read a little bit more. Actually, let me switch over to this one real quick, guys. Let's play. I want to play this real quick. This is Thomas Massie himself, okay, giving a breakdown of why this bill, when he originally introduced it, why it didn't go through, and some things like that. I'm gonna pause in between here and there to break some things down. But let's check this out real quick, then we're gonna wrap up. Guys, listen, if you're getting some value from the show tonight, support the work. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. We need 68 more donors at the $100 level. Hopefully, you guys can give at the $100 level, get access to a Solutionary 9 lifetime membership. Don't know your macros? We do it for you. Need a meal plan? We do it for you. Need workout routines? We got you. Okay, need shooting drills? We got you. Need civics, understanding imminent threat, firearms basics classes, intermediate classes? We have you. Curriculums to go with. Want a link to sell the merch and make a 15% commission that comes with your membership, lifetime membership? I'm saying this to say I don't want y'all to just go buy the membership. I want y'all to donate $100 and then get the membership too. So I can get out of the RV, we buy the building, because that's what the resources are for. So GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Also, all of the new members that just came in, whether you're watching on YouTube or X, whatever you're watching on, give me a comment, hit the like button, share the space all over the place. Very important. Very important. And to Q-Tips, I agree with you. He says the only reason why I'm giving a little pushback is because there's a lot of ignorant motherfuckers out here that are out here hurting people, legal or not. Ironically, I agree with you, but the funny thing about that is, as there's more safe and responsible gun owners, the violent crime rate drops. That's been the case for over 40 years at this point. Like I said, 1990s, since licenses to carry have been going up, violent crime over time, other than a few spikes for a few years, violent crime has decreased. So it's a 100% like benefit for more people to be safe and responsible gun owners, right? And the people that's doing the crime are not legit gun owners. Like safe and responsible gun owners, licensed to carry people, generally ain't the people doing the crime. Generally, like overwhelmingly generally, right? So let's play this real quick, guys. Let's listen to what Massie has to say about this.
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate H.R. 38, Constitutional Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act. I intend to vote for it, but and when it was first drafted, I think it was more complete. But what has happened is we've had a Supreme Court decision, and we've had some activity by the states, sort of changes the nature of H.R. 38. What were those? What is that activity? Well, 29 states are now constitutional carry. This will address Mr. Goldman's concern. 29 states are now constitutional carry. H.R. 38 sets up a situation where if you are in a state like Kentucky that has constitutional carry, and you travel to a state like California, which does not have constitutional carry, I have, in some ways, more rights to carry a gun in California than does a California resident, under the framework that H.R. 38 would establish. Now, those were just a few exceptions here and there to H.R. 38 when there weren't that many constitutional carry states. But now there are 29 constitutional carry states. What else has happened? Well, the Supreme Court decision, Bruin, says that every state now has to issue a permit. So if I'm from Kentucky and I have constitutional carry, it means I now have constitutional carry in every state under H.R. 38. There's also sort of this other issue that Mr. Goldman, or actually Mr. Nadler's amendment got to, that my amendment solves, because my amendment, by the way, is just a statement of a bill that I have offered, which is national
he's from Kentucky too,
carry.
right?
And what my bill says is that if it is legal for you to own a gun in a state, then it is also legal for you to carry that gun in that state. It doesn't impose on California a new set of gun rules or a new category of people who are eligible or not eligible to own a firearm. It just says, if the state of California has decided that you can own a gun, that you are able to own a gun, and that you meet those qualifications, and that the gun is one that the state of California approves of, then the state of California has to let you carry that gun. It doesn't provide any more rights to somebody from Kentucky and California than a person in California has in California, which is one of the problems with HR 38. Is HR 38 gives me, the person from Kentucky, more rights in California than Mr. Kiley has in California. So we just solved this by doing constitutional carry for the whole country. If we're able to impose HR 38 and get half pregnant, surely we can get fully pregnant and do constitutional carry for the whole country. And I don't think this is, by the way, it doesn't rely on the Commerce Clause, which HR 38 does. My amendment, which is a restatement of my national reciprocity bill, just says the Constitution says you have the right to keep and bear arms. There should not be two standards. Yeah, we'll let the states, as Heller described, the Heller decision, have some discretion in who can own what. But once you've established that standard, you can't have another standard for who can carry that thing. I mean, if you can own it, surely you should be able to carry it. And by the way, there's been a lot of discussion about, is constitutional carry good or not? Well, there are 29 states that allow it now, and guess what? 2 of those states, the legislature, both the House and the Senate in that state, and the governor, are controlled by Democrats, and they've not repealed it. They've had every opportunity. They control all the levers of government in Vermont and Maine, and they have constitutional carry, and guess what? They decided to keep it. It can't be all that bad if the Democrats in those states are keeping it.
But would the gentleman yield?
No, I've got to introduce this bill. Furthermore, a recent study in Ohio's constitutional carry law conducted by the Center for Justice Research shows that after constitutional carry was enacted, the rate of crimes involving a firearm decreased in 6 of Ohio's 8 largest cities. So, and it doesn't have an appreciable effect on law enforcement injuries or deaths by firearms in Ohio's cities of interest. So, and finally, you know, the states are recognizing this. We're at 29 states. Every year there's another state that joins the rolls of constitutional carry. It just makes sense. Over half the states have it. Instead of having a patchwork, let's just grant the same rights to everybody that the Constitution, the Second Amendment, has enshrined. With that, my time has expired, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back.
This isn't complicated, guys. We're just working our way back to supposedly constitutionally protected rights. This is not complicated. Now, the beauty of this is you had step after step after step. When someone gets out of shape, when they get fat, okay? When somebody gets fat, they don't magically just not be fat. If it took them 10 years to get fat, if they concentrate insanely, it might take them 2 to 3 years, maybe even a year, depending upon how extreme they want to be to fight back against what they were, right? Or get back that way. It's very similar here. We were a nation that was born upon the idea that you have the right to keep and bear arms, and that is a limitation on government, not a government limitation on you. That is foundational. It's foundational. Somehow we got turned around, and now, again, since around 1990, the early 90s, more states started getting licenses to carry. Then they started going constitutional carry or concealed carry or whatever, okay? Now we're back to, hey, almost 30 out of 50 states have constitutional carry. Why are we playing this game? Let's amend it a little bit. Let's give everybody the same rules that are already constitutionally protected. What you're watching is the pendulum going back to a more balanced state. The reason why this is important for all of us solutionaries to make sure that we're getting behind, supporting the politicians that support this, is because we need to make our voice heard from to our representatives saying, this is what we actually want. Okay? If you can't articulate it amazingly, you doing yourself and your team a disservice. When you tap into the Maj 2 ratio, my job is to give you guys the way to argue these positions. We're going back to constitutionally protected rights. We're having more respect for the Constitution. This actually gives states more rights. It actually makes states safer because, as the data has shown over 40 years, more states that have more safe and responsible gun owners have less crime. More Guns, Less Crime. Dr. John Lott's book has been out for a very long time. Okay, our job is to make sure that we're going in the proper direction. They're going to try to trick you and your folks to make sure that you're not doing it. You're not presented with the information, or they're trying to package it for you like you don't know what you're talking about. You must be advocating for violence. You must be da da da. You must don't care about the children. This is how they try to package it so you shrink. D Words from Arizona, what's up? They package it this way so you shrink. When you come tap into this show every day, Monday through Friday, my job is to make sure that you have solid information, solid tactics, and a solid approach to make sure that you don't shrink because you're missing the information. That lady said, "Oh, this is gonna make it. Oh, the violence is gonna be crazy." On that article we just had on the screen before this video, that's what she said. That is statistically patently false. It's not true. The data does not agree with that statement. That's a fear tactic or what she think might happen or whatever, whatever. Okay, that's her job. Her job is to lie about the data and statistics, to manipulate them. There's a great book called How to Lie with Statistics. That's their Bible. Your job is to be a solid representation of what it means to be a safe and responsible gun owner. Your job is to make sure that we're not running around here looking like we just about death and destruction. Your job is to be healthy. Your job is to be a statesman, be a stateswoman. Your job is to understand an imminent threat and avoid it. Your job is to try to de-escalate conflict when you can. Your job is to be in the best shape you possibly can be. Your job is to spend with family, to understand civics, to share that information and create your family crest around those ideas. This is literally why we created the Solutionary Nine, and all of this ties in, y'all. All of it. I would not have traveled the country for the last 7 or 8 years of my life doing this work, recognizing what we still needed, and started to curate a program or programs or classes and things like that on the basic level, on the basic level of things that our people need. Americans need a holistic approach to these things. And like Thomas Massie just said, this is just giving people the rights that are supposed to be respected in the first place. It's all it is, guys. Very, very important. Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap up. I want you guys to do me a huge favor, or a few of them. One, we got 272 people in the chat. Hit the like before you leave. Everybody about to wrap up. I'm going to wrap up too. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. You watching on YouTube. You watching on whatever you're watching on. Hit the like button. Share, 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 like, comment, comment, comment. Do it real quick. I'll try to get to a few of them as I finish these next few sentences. Okay? GB says agree, but you can't make it a government requirement. 100% agree. Okay, let's get some more questions. Get some more comments. I'm going to ask you guys to share this space all over the place, right? That's how we promote it. The vast majority of you that consume the content aren't subscribed. Please subscribe to both of the YouTube channels, youtube.com/Maj2Ray, youtube.com/Black Guns Matter. As well as, if you're watching this on one of those other platforms, follow me on X at Maj2Ray999. Go over to, so do that. That don't cost you nothing. It helps us, it helps boost the algorithm. We appreciate that for all of you that do that. Lastly, there's 276 of us now in here, right? 276. It would be great if all of you guys donated at $100 level to make sure that we can buy our Solutionary Center. We are 68 donors, $100 donors away from our next benchmark. We got 2 benchmarks left, this one and then the last one, and we are done. If you are a donor at the $100 level, you get access to that lifetime Solutionary 9 membership. Again, most people don't know their macros. Most people don't have a meal plan for their macros. Most people don't even know what it means. Most people don't have shooting drills. Most people don't know how to work out. They don't have a workout routine. They don't have a community of people that's going to push them to be better. All of that is in the Solutionary 9. So instead of me just saying go to Solutionary University and buy the membership, no. Donate, keep the firearms classes free to all, right? Help us buy the building and still get the membership. One is better than the other, right? You help more people doing it that way. If you can donate at the $100 level, that's what you get. If you can't donate at the $100 level, give what you can. All right. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. If you're watching this on X, it's my pinned post. There's a whole video up there. or whatever other platform you're watching it after this. If you forget, just shoot me a message, comment on something. Yo, Maj, send me that link, and I got you. Okay, guys? Share the space all over the place. Give with you can. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Please be a $100 donor. 273. Just imagine how mind blowing it would be if 200 of you just decided to say, I'm going to donate, I'm going to be a member at $100 level. It would help us out tremendously. Fundraising is very, very difficult. And I enjoy this job of working and doing community work and making sure that more people are safe and responsible gun owners. But this work continues with your help. Thank you all for tapping in. I will see you all tomorrow, 8 p.m. for the Maj 2 Ray show. Same time, same channel. I appreciate you all for tapping in. Go over to givesendgo.com/solutionary. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be safe, be solutionary.